live is all about why it's just not happening for you yet in your life. Maybe you're trying different things, you're working on your self-care, self-improvement, you might be doing breathwork, meditation, exercising, you might be working on your mindset, and life just it's just not happening for you yet. So that's what this is about. It's about why you're still stuck and how to reinvent yourself. So I'll try and do around 30 minutes for you. And I'm going to teach you why you still feel stuck, and I'll help guide you into an energetic identity shift using mindfulness and embodiment, and a couple of tips for you. So as I'm going through, if you relate to anything that I'm saying, then obviously you can comment on what's going on with my hair, and I will try and keep an eye on the comments as I am doing this live. So what I want you to do first is, if you are really wanting to get as much as possible out of this session, I recommend you have a bit of paper, or you can write in notes on your phone, whatever. You can write on a sticky note, whatever is good for you. First thing that we are going to do before we get into anything else is do a quick check-in with you. So I want you to close down your eyes, and we're going to just drop into your body for a second. So close down your eyes, and I want you to ask yourself, how am I feeling right now in my body? Oh, my phone is falling. Okay. Do you feel tired, sad, angry, whatever comes up? And where is that feeling sitting? Is it in your chest? Is it in your belly? Is it mostly in your head? And if it had a colour, what colour would it be? A shape? A texture? So again, if you've just joined, close down your eyes, drop into your body for a second, and just ask yourself, how am I feeling in my body right now? Where is that feeling sitting? And if it had a colour, what colour would it be? Does it have a shape? What shape is it, if you want to give it a shape? And what texture is it? So you don't need to do anything. We're just seeing how you feel in your body, and we're using a method called physicalizing, where you're giving your feeling, you're locating it in your body, and you're giving it a colour, a shape, and a texture. Okay? And then I want you to open your eyes. And what you can do is you can write that down, or you can drop it into notes on your phone. What you felt. Now you might use one word, or you might use more than one word. Where is that feeling in your body? And then it's colour, shape, and texture. It doesn't have to have all three of those things, but if it does, just write it down. We're going to revisit this at the end, which is why I wanted to write it down now. Okay? Now, why is this important in reinventing yourself, or how does it matter if you're feeling stuck? It matters because what we've just done there is dropped into your body and checked in with your nervous system and how you're feeling. And your nervous system speaks in feeling and in sensation. It doesn't speak in logic. So your brain is where all the logic happens. Okay, I think this, or decision making and problem solving. But your nervous system speaks in sensation and feeling. It doesn't recognize logic. Logic isn't its language, should I say. And most of us live in our heads wondering why we feel stuck. But the truth is that your body already knows. You might not be consciously aware of it yet. That's what I'm going to bring you through in this session. So a couple of more things you might want to jot down. Now, you don't need to close your eyes or anything for this bit, but I I want you to fill in these blanks, okay? Currently, I think blank. So I think it could be anything. I think I'm lazy. I think I'm having a good day. I think I'm behind. I think it's too late for me. Whatever. So currently, I think blank, and write down what you think. Then I want you to write down how I feel. So right now, I feel. Now we've just done that bit. So you write down how you feel in this moment where you're feeling stuck. So anxious, deflated, ashamed, unmotivated, lost, whatever it is, write it down. And I want you to have a think about what actions or inactions are keeping you there. Drinking, doom scrolling, avoiding decisions, overworking, saying yes to things that you hate, people pleasing, so saying yes to everybody, not able to say no. So write down things that are keeping you in this feeling and in this thought pattern. And now this is a really important one, okay? Do I believe I deserve what I want? Whether that is love, success, freedom. It's either a yes or a no. It's as simple as that. And then for either one, either the yes or the no, I want you to write down why. So if you said no, if you don't believe you deserve what you want, why? So for example, well, I haven't done enough, or I think I always mess things up, or I feel I don't look the part, any of those sorts of things. So the reason that you're still stuck is because you are living inside a version of you that was created to survive and not thrive. So every time that you repeat the same thoughts, feelings, and habits, you are reinforcing that very identity that's keeping you stuck. Or you might want to use like another word. It doesn't have to be stuck, but anything that isn't where you are. Maybe lost, maybe lonely, maybe unhappy. So every time you repeat the thoughts, emotions, and habits or behaviors or actions, whatever word you want to use, you are reinforcing that identity. So we have between 60 and 80,000 thoughts a day, and most of them are repeated thoughts, and most of them are automatic. So we can't catch all of those thoughts, obviously. We only catch the ones that emotionally hit us. Just putting back on my light here. And you obviously can't catch 60,000 thoughts a day. A lot of them go into your subconscious. So you are subconsciously training your brain and your nervous system to believe that your current nervous system state is safe and miserable, or whatever feeling you're feeling. Lonely, lost, stuck, whatever. Okay? And you're teaching it with all these thoughts that are going on without your awareness, the beliefs you have, the emotions you feel in your body. You are subconsciously training your brain and nervous system that you want this version that's here. Lonely, sad, lost, whatever. And you're telling it, I want to stay in this version, because you're repeating those thoughts, feelings, and actions every single day. So what's one repeated thought that you've had lately? Maybe it's something like, well, nothing works out for me, or I'm never going to catch up, I'll always be behind, or any of those sorts of thoughts. I'm worthless, I'm useless, or I'm too old, any of those thoughts. If you are constantly thinking those things, then how can you have the things that you're wanting to achieve? Whether that's a partner, happiness, love, money, whatever it is. If your thinking is, well, I don't deserve it, or that'll never happen to me, again, you're reinforcing that identity. So how can you have what you want if you are living in the exact opposite state. So getting what you want out of life, it's not going to work if you're only thinking about what you want while feeling on a different wavelength. So how can you feel like so content in your life, joy, full of love, no worries, like the happiest you've ever been in your life? That's what you're truly wishing for and wanting. How can you have that if you're constantly worried about money, if you're constantly afraid of things, if you're insecure? They're parallel universes, and parallel worlds. You can't have all of these things like love, success, money, a house, a car, whatever it is you want, if you're living in, well, I can't afford that, or I don't, that'll never happen to me, or I'm never going to get a promotion at work, whatever it is. So nothing is going to respond to what you say you want unless you are energetically basically feeling all the things you would feel if you did have all of those things that you're wishing for, okay? So how can you expect to reinvent yourself and have all the things that you're wishing, wanting, and dreaming of, while also training this version of you, miserable, sad, lonely, fearful, whatever feelings you're feeling that aren't helping and that aren't enjoyable, and you're suffering in that state really. You have to train your nervous system, your body, everything to live in the version of you or that life if you had all of those things. So how can you be confident and unbothered and driven and ambitious and everything? How can you be fully confident in yourself and unbothered if you're constantly refreshing WhatsApp messages to see if they texted back, or wondering, trying to figure out who they're following or who followed them recently or who they've commented on? How can you be the most confident, unbothered version of yourself if you are living in a state of insecurity and constantly, like I said, doing things that reinforce the version of you you're trying to get out of? So no wonder that you're journaling affirmations or whatever it is you're trying to write down, okay, I'm worthy of, or whatever, let's say manifesting or journaling bits that you're doing, especially affirmations. If you're secretly doubting them, then they're not going to come true, because you're only writing down something but you don't believe it. And how can you be your true authentic self, not caring what others think, not bothered about other people's opinions, if you constantly compare yourself to people online and then try to call it inspiration, but actually it just really gets you down and you're jealous and you feel shit about yourself after you do it, and that's going to hurt your self-esteem. So you're reinforcing this version of you that's stuck, and you're going to stay stuck if you keep staying in these thoughts, feelings, and doing these actions. So how can you have self-respect and love for yourself if you skip meals, if you're burnt out, if you're surviving on coffee, but you're trying to call it discipline? You know what I mean? You're doing one thing, but you want the other. And your subconscious mind won't allow you to get what you deserve if you don't believe you deserve it. So again, let's go back to this. Your identity is a set of repeated thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. And the more you repeat them, the more that they're going to feel real, and the more you're going to stay stuck or stay in this feeling that you're trying to get out of. So why do we get stuck? And why is it so hard to move? First of all, I might turn on this light again. It's actually better without. So first of all, what happens is you get stuck on your thoughts, and your thoughts feel real. They feel like facts. So let's say you have a thought like that, I'm not good enough, or I'm behind, or I'm too old. What happens is you get stuck on, you get fused. It's called cognitive fusion, okay? You mesh with your thoughts. So not all your thoughts are true, but we take our thoughts to be true when we don't have the tools to detach from our thoughts. So you have a thought that I'm not good enough, and you take it to be truth, and therefore you start to believe, well, I think I'm not good enough, therefore I am not good enough. And that becomes your belief system. So if you are really wanting to get this promotion at work, or you are really wanting to meet someone, but your internal dialogue, your internal belief system, your thought patterns are, well, I'm not good enough, then you're not going to be able to get what you want, because you're living in an identity that would never get that, you know? So the first thing is you fuse with your thoughts. The next thing is that you avoid emotions, okay? So shitty feelings are really shitty, and nobody wants to sit there in those feelings. But avoiding them isn't going to make things any better. You need to just sit with what you're feeling and process it and let it come out, and stop avoiding it, because what you resist persists. So anything you try to ignore, it will come back 10 times stronger, whether that's thoughts, feelings, actions, okay? So if you're going to say, I'm not going to have any chocolate for the rest of the month, all you are going to think about is chocolate, because you've psychologically banned yourself from it. So the last thing that keeps you stuck is your nervous system conditioning. So everything I've talked about, where your body believes that this version of you is safe, because that's what you keep repeating over and over again. So things that keep us stuck: fusing with your thoughts, so you become your thoughts because you don't have tools to detach from your thoughts. So you have a thought, I'm not good enough, and then you literally become that thought. So everything you do is revolved around that thought. So I'm not good enough means that you're not going to buy yourself nice things, you're not going to take dating opportunities, you're not going to go for job promotions, because you have this internal belief and identity that you're not good enough. And not good enough feels shit. It feels really shit when you think other people are better than you, or if you feel inferior. That feels shit. I've had that before. And you're swimming in a crappy emotion. But because you're living in it all day, you're teaching your nervous system, this is the safe feeling, because this is what I feel every day. And so you get conditioned to believe that, your nervous system gets conditioned to believe that, well, this feeling that I sit in every day is the feeling I want to stay in, the feeling that's safe, which is exactly what we want to get out of, okay? So things that keep you stuck are fusing with your thoughts, sitting in the very emotion you want to get out of, or avoiding that very emotion, and then conditioning your nervous system to stay safe in this version that we don't want to be in anymore. So if every time you feel anxious, you numb out on your phone, or you drink to try and get rid of it, then your brain is going to start to associate drinking or alcohol or numbing as your tactic for survival mode. Keep the questions coming in. I will answer them as I will go along. Some of these I'll keep to the end, but thanks for your questions. Some of these is in this workshop anyway, so I will go through it in a bit. So with the nervous system conditioning, if you are a very anxious person, if you're always sitting in fear and worry, then you will have some form of a coping tool or something that you do to distract yourself. So let's say you go for a bottle of wine every time you feel anxious, or let's say that you don't like being alone, so you never sit with yourself and you always have to be around people. Whatever it is that you do when you feel this feeling that doesn't feel great, what you're teaching your brain to do is associate that thing that you do, whether that's always being around people or booze or drugs or whatever it is you do to avoid or temporarily deal with this feeling, you're teaching your brain that that method is survival. So how do we change this? How do you get out of this feeling of stuckness or being lost or lonely or whatever it is? Then, some lovely comments coming in. Thanks, guys. This is my first workshop I've done on TikTok, so I probably should have introduced myself at the start, but I kind of forgot because I actually just came off another workshop I did straight into this one. So, so nice to see that people are liking my content. Thank you. But keep commenting. I hope you find this interesting because there'll be plenty more of these if you do. So what needs to go? So I've just talked about all the shitty things that are keeping us stuck and why you're still stuck. And stuck can be in relation to anything. If you are in a position that you do not want to be in and you have been there for a long time, this workshop applies to you. You can take any situation that's keeping you stuck. You could be in a relationship that you want to get out of. You're just afraid to leave because you might feel you're too old. You might feel you won't manage on your own. How do you start again? You're afraid of dating again. How will you afford rent if you were living with your partner and you need to find a place on your own? If you can't afford rent and you have the option to move back in with your parents, you might feel ashamed for doing that because you're too old and you should have it figured out. Any of these things, okay? Any situation that you are living in right now that you do not want to be in, but you cannot seem to get out of, then I'm going to tell you what needs to go, okay? You're not stuck, okay? You just don't know how to get out of this position that you're in. So it feels like you're stuck because you could be paralyzed with feelings of fear, etc. You might not know where to go next. And so you can't make a decision. It's easier to stay where you are, even though you don't want to be there and it feels fucking shit. But underneath that all, that's very a logical way of explaining, okay, well, I don't know where to go next, or I've no money to move out even though I hate my partner. All of these things are very logical, but really it's because you haven't made space for the next chapter or the new version of you. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to know what the new version of you is. All you need to know is that this version of you is not making you happy. And you are sitting in horrible feelings and thoughts every day and you don't know where to go next. You just know you need to go somewhere. And like I've just explained, you haven't made space for the new life, the new you, all the things that you wish you had today. You haven't made space for it because you're living in that current identity that's reinforcing everything you're trying to get out of. Now, very importantly, if you're trying to create a new life for yourself, if you're trying to just feel better in yourself, then I'm sure you've heard this quote before, but your new life will cost you your old one. So you cannot carry all the things from the life that's making you feel crap into the new life where none of that's going to exist. So let's say you're in a horrible relationship, toxic relationship, or you're just unhappy. You've both grown in different directions and you're just not for each other anymore and it's time to move on. Of course, it's scary to make the decision to break up with someone. You could have a house together, you could have children together, a dog, you might, like I said, you might not have money to move out on your own. All of these things that are scary, and fear is our number one reason we don't do things. Then you don't want the qualities in your partner that don't align with you anymore. You don't want to basically bring anything that has gotten you into the situation that you're in into the new life. So those things have to go. And so you have to make space. You cannot have the old life and the new life together because the old life or whatever you've been doing recently is not making you happy now. So those things need to go. And this is why people really struggle to make changes because not sometimes, a lot of the time it requires you cutting out friends that don't align with you anymore, toxic partners, whether that's a girl or a guy, and literally making the leap into this new life. But there's no space for that new life if you're still dragging stuff from your past, holding on to all of that and expecting to have this, amazing new life eventually. Obviously, small steps to get there. You can't have both. So you can't bring people who drain you, habits that are keeping you where you are now, environments that limit you. Now you have to take that one with a pinch of salt, because we all can't quit the jobs that we hate today. We have to have a backup plan. But if you're in a job that you really don't like, but it pays the bills, you focus on your life outside work and you make that life really fucking good. And your thoughts, biggest thing. Fear and our thoughts are probably the biggest things holding you back, okay? So letting go of that old life means you have to lose people. You have to let go of routines that are not working for you, hobbies that are not working for you. But that's the cost of stepping into reinventing yourself. And that doesn't have to be this huge transformation. It just means working towards my happiest self, let's say. So that's why I say, that saying, your new life will cost you the old one, because it will. So I'm going to talk about quickly about a client that I had, where we were working on, getting to the happiest version of you. And I asked her to focus on some gratitude, and every day just focus on 2 things that make her grateful. And she said, I can't think of anything grateful. If you cannot think of anything that you are grateful for, then you're not ready for your dream life, because you have to be able to tap into feelings that are on a high vibration. So otherwise you can't move into this next chapter. So, and that's nothing wrong with you. You just maybe don't know this information, or maybe you're emotionally closed off, or you don't know how to get there, or you're stuck in survival mode. But I'll help you with that as we get towards the end of this workshop. So if you're feeling shit in any it doesn't matter what the feeling is, if you're feeling shit, then you are on a low vibration and you're in that survival mode, and you're on a low vibration, and your new life is going to be on a very high vibration. You're going to start feeling good in yourself. You're going to say no to people. You're going to exit that toxic relationship. So you have to be able to get into a good vibration even in a shitty time, okay? That is key. And maybe this is the reason that why it's just not happening for you, because you're wishing and wanting and you think you're doing all the things, but every day you're feeling crap and you're not appreciating the small things, and you're not able to get into a good vibration and train your body. No, this is how I want to feel. I don't want to feel crap anymore. This is how I want to feel. Let's not feel that way, that shitty way anymore. So if you struggle to feel grateful for anything, then I suggest you start to focus on something as simple as your breathing, or your body, or being able to get dressed, or having a good sleep, or your breakfast, even if it's just a boring bowl of oats. You are lucky if you are able to get up in the morning after an okay sleep, eat breakfast and go to work. And if you're not grateful for those things, you've got a lot of work to do. But you're never going to feel gratitude for your new life and all the amazing things you're wanting if you cannot be grateful for these small things that you do every day. Because every day you are reinforcing thought patterns, feelings and actions that are making you feel shit. So every day you're going to have to try and retrain your brain to think better thoughts, to feel better, to have more gratitude, so that your nervous system and your brain and your entire being can switch into feeling good every day. Train it up to feel good every day, because you've trained it really well to feel fucking shit every day. And I've been there, so I can relate. So let's change your state right now, okay? Let's change your state right now. I'm going to get you to do 2 deep nose inhales and a long exhale through your mouth. And we're going to do 10 of these, okay? So it's going to be okay, 2 inhales, 1 one long exhale. Okay, and I want you to keep doing that. Keep going. 2 inhales and 1 long, slow exhale, okay? Keep going. 2 inhales, 1 long exhale. So what we're doing here is changing your vibration now with this quick breathwork technique. And as you're going, you might get a quick hit to the head. I just did there. I want you to think of that one thing that you're grateful for. And if you struggle, like I said, be grateful that you can even do this breath. Be grateful that you can tune in to this session and focus on getting better. Be grateful that you woke up this morning and had a cup of coffee and a breakfast or walked your dog. Okay, keep going. I want you to keep going, and I want you to close down your eyes, and we're going to shift our nervous system state, and we're going to shift into that future life that you really want, that it isn't happening for you right now, and I'm going to help you figure out why. Keep going. Focus on that thing you're grateful for. Keep going. 2 inhales and 1 exhale. I'll put on a bit of music for you. Keep going. Try and make the exhale even longer. Keep going, okay? And what I want you to do is close down your eyes if you haven't already. Keep going with your breath. 2 inhales, 1 long, slow exhale. And I want to show you what's possible. Let's get out of the state that you've been in, the thought pattern you've been in, the pictures you've been creating in your head, the feeling you've been feeling in your body. And let's get into this version of you that you've been trying to so hard to get into, but haven't been able. So I want you to see yourself waking up 6 months from now as your best self. The absolute best version of you. Feeling your best. Keep going with your breath. Slow it down now, just slow deep inhale. Slow exhale. Slow inhale. And slow exhale out through the mouth. So this version of you, this best version of you, you wake up in the morning, and what are you wearing? What are you going to put on? What do you wear that makes you feel the most confident, powerful version of you? I want you to see it. Is it a suit? Is it a dress? Whatever it is that makes you feel the most confident, but something you've probably been too afraid to wear. What colour is it? What texture is it? What material is it? I want you to put it on. Take a long, slow, deep breath up to the top of your head and hold this one. Hold. How do you feel when you wear this outfit? Smile. Give yourself a big smile. This is your confident, best version of you in your best outfit that you love. It makes you feel amazing. Describe and feel into your body how you feel. Exhale out. Normal breathing, slow. Slow exhale out through the mouth. Now, keep going with your nice, slow, deep inhale. And how do you speak to yourself? This version of you, the most confident version of you. Do you say you're proud of yourself? Do you reassure yourself? What are the quality of your thoughts? You need to hold on to the energy of how you speak to yourself in that best version of you, because we so often have such negative thoughts, and so we need to retrain our brain. No, this is how I think. The thoughts that your best self thinks. Let's breathe in again. Hold at the top. Holding on. And we're going to create that energy in your body. The energy of how you felt when you were wearing your favorite outfit. The energy of how you speak to yourself. How you respect yourself. You deserve this version of life. You are worthy of it. You deserve happiness. You deserve to be confident. And you deserve to speak to yourself with respect, like you speak to your friends with respect. Exhale out. And we're going to do that one more time. Let's create this energy of your future life. I want you to really see again how clear it is to see what you're wearing, the space you're in, even who's around you. You might be on your own, you might be outside, you might be in a house. Let's go. Breathe in, hold at the top. Now visualize your favorite outfit, the color, see it so clearly, the texture, the fabric. Now feel it on your skin. How does it make you feel to be in your future life? That space around you, whether you're in a massive white house, whether you're on a beach, whether you're in a forest. This is a day in your future life in your favorite outfit. And the thoughts are, I deserve this. I'm so happy in this life. I have amazing friends. I feel good in my body. I treat myself with respect. And feel that in your belly, feel that in your heart. So now you are living in that version of your life. This is what it's like to live in that version of you, to think like the very best version of you. Let's exhale out. And just go back to your normal breathing and keep your eyes closed. And I want you to hold on to that feeling, because we're going to bring that feeling back into right now in the moment. Okay, now slowly open your eyes when you're ready. Okay, so if you're still here, I'd love to know how you feel. You can pop it in the comments. So I'm going to explain what we did there. First of all, I'm going to ask you again what I asked you at the start. So how do you feel now versus at the start? If I've done my job correctly, you're going to feel very different. And just noticing where in your body that you feel it. So that might have moved, that might have changed. And if you felt something at the start that was kind of heavy or deep, maybe that's softened up a bit. And what colour is it now? So what we were doing there is training your mind and your body to live and feel in the version of your life that you've been wanting and wishing for, but it just hasn't happened for you. And my guess is it because every day you're not training your body in that way. You're training it to stay in the version of you that's sad, stuck and lost. You're thinking, it's never going to happen for me. I don't deserve this. I'm too old, too behind. I can't change now. I'm too afraid to do that. Whatever it is, all of those things, all of those thoughts, all of those feelings, and the actions that you take on a daily basis reinforce and keep that version of you that you're trying to leave. And I've just shown you how we can retrain what you see, how you feel, what you can imagine, what you believe you deserve, how you feel in your body, how you speak to yourself. And that's what you need to train your body and mind to do. And those are high vibration thoughts and feelings. And when you train your nervous system to be in that energy, that is when you're going to get closer and closer, and things will start working out for you more, and you won't have as many negative thoughts or feelings, and you'll be getting closer and closer to that version of life, which you actually already have in your body because you've just done it. But you're just spending too much time in the other version that you want to let go of. So you don't get what you want. So if you're writing down, I want on all these bits of paper, but you're still feeling shit, even though I know it's so hard to feel good in a shit situation, you can spend 5 or 10 minutes doing what I've just told you to do, because you don't get what you want. You get what you are. You get how you feel. You get what you are energetically. So if you want change, you don't want to sit in how you're feeling anymore, then you need to shift out of that state and into embodying all of the things that you do want to feel. And then what you can do is you can go back and fill in the blanks again. The same questions I asked you at the start. And I'll post this live on my TikTok, so you can, if you've just joined, you can go back and listen to the whole thing. So at the start I asked, currently I think, and you fill in the blank. Right now I feel. And what actions are going to keep me here? So it's the same questions, but you should have different answers. And then again, do I believe I deserve what I want? And why? Usually for that one, it'll have gone from a no to a yes. And for the why, because you've just done it. I've just shown you that you can feel like you deserve it. You can see a future life. So you might want to choose thoughts like, I've got this. I trust myself and I'm worthy no matter what. I can handle shit situations. Instead of, why does this always happen to me? Nothing good ever happens to me. Those sorts of thoughts. We all have them, but you need to shift them. No, I've got this. I can do this. I know I can. Let me try again. Feelings I want to feel regularly, maybe excited, open, feeling like I'm progressing. Feeling like today is a little heavy than yesterday. And like things that you're going to do that are going to help you stay in those thoughts and feelings, showing up for yourself, setting boundaries, maybe doing a breath work. I've got a couple of them posted on my TikTok. Stillness, self-respect. And when we compare like that current identity that we did at the start versus the one you stepped into just there in that visualization and your breath, you will see that they are not aligned. You can literally write down in like on a piece of paper You can do like a column like that. And you can do current self, future self, or best self, should we say. And you will see that all the thoughts, feelings, actions, the belief in yourself that you put down at the start versus the ones that you've put down the second time you ask them, you will see that they're not aligned. And that is why you're still stuck and why life just isn't happening for you, because you're living in the version of you that is complete opposite to the one that you're trying to create. And so you need to let go of all those things in order to make space for the new version of you. And that's the answer. And that's exactly why it's not happening. It's literally nothing major. It's just maybe you didn't know it, or maybe you've not been practicing in that way. So, yeah. Let me just go up. I'm going to scroll back to some of these questions now. I'll answer the ones that apply to this. Okay, first question is... Oh, thanks. Someone said I have nice eyes. Thank you very much. Love your energy. Thank you so much. I don't know what that is. I just tapped something by accident. Sorry. Where am I from? I am from Galway, Ireland, west of Ireland, but I live in Dubai. Oh my God, I keep touching things. I'm new to TikTok. Don't really know how to use it. What tools did you use to help get over not feeling good enough? There's a couple of things, okay? So you'll have to work on your thought patterns, because your thought patterns create your belief systems. So I'm not good enough is a belief system that is more than likely came from a past experience. So if, let's say, a partner cheated on you, maybe it came from there. I'm not good enough. Or maybe your parents were like always wanting you to win things, or like be the best in school or something like that. And let's say you were trying hard but you just never got there, but your parents always wanted you to have A grades but you never got them. That might have developed from there. So not feeling good enough requires you to let go of that belief, whatever it is, and you're going to have to do some rewiring there. You can also do some I can help you with some CBT rewiring if you want to DM me, but also requires you retraining, like we just did, your nervous system. No, I am good enough. Like, I am good enough for this thing. And you can use like little mini challenges. So go out and buy yourself a coffee and a croissant. You deserve it. You are good enough for that thing. It doesn't have to be this huge like job. You start small. And even like I said, if your partner cheated on you, you are good enough to take yourself out on a date and buy a coffee and a croissant. And your partner cheating on you is actually nothing to do with you and everything to do with their behaviour, their choices. You've no control over that, unfortunately. You can only focus on yourself. So you can start, it's a combination of constantly trying to change your thought pattern, but you have to believe it, otherwise it won't work. With small actions and feeling and changing how you feel in your body to I am good enough. So you could start with today, I'm good enough to take myself out for coffee and croissant today because nobody else would do it, or because whatever reason. Take yourself out for coffee or breakfast on your own, book your pods, whatever, listen to your favourite music, and prove to yourself by buying yourself breakfast that you are good enough to take yourself out on a date and for a morning and to have a nice morning for yourself. And that will help change. By taking action helps you change everything, because it's proof. If you can go out and do that and like feel good doing it, then that is proof. Oh, I've just done it, so I'm good enough for this one small thing. Maybe I'll try something a little bit bigger next time. But I can help you a bit more with that. It's kind of complex if you have deep beliefs. Thank you for saying I like your video about decision regarding kids. Thank you. Seems to be a controversial one, but mostly positive comments, which I'm so grateful for. So thanks, Emma. I think about winning the Euro Millions jackpot every week as well. But do you believe you deserve it? Do you believe you deserve it is the main question. Thanks, guys. Such lovely comments in here. Where was my dad when you were growing up that you had to do all the childcare? He was at work. So I get them up, get them ready for school, and just do lunch boxes. He'd be getting ready for work. He'd drive us to work, and work all day, obviously, like, you know, hospital bills and everything that we're paying for. And then obviously he would pick us up from school. And, you know, as in my experience, dads aren't good at cooking. So now we didn't have great meals. It was like beans on toast and stuff that I made for them, but whatever. He was at work. He's hardly able to not work. I'm not Polish, I am Irish. Oh, someone sent me a gift. That's nice. Okay, so I think, is there any questions? So glad that you are feeling a lot more confident. Oh, this is the same person. I'm so glad that I scrolled down. That's a perfect example. See, by tapping into yourself and just feeling into a different feeling, you're saying you feel more confident to move forward with more compassion. Amazing. I'm actually, look at the hairs on my arms. Just got such good feeling, like, oh, I'm buzzing. I think that's it. Is it? Let me see. Top of the morning to you. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, guys. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Really appreciate it. I'll have more of these if you want to DM me, or you can comment on this post once I post it. And I'd love to do more. Thank you so much for joining, and have a fab weekend. Bye.